Profanity. 4 uses of hell, 3 uses of butt, 2 uses of piss, and 1 use of damn. I just loved it was all one run-on sentence, and I loved reading it.
When you hear your name called, I want you to go over to Coach Butz, and I want you to pick up your jersey.
Those jerseys are so cool.
For everyone who has waited to be chosen,
Lewis.
but is still waiting.
Rivera.
For everybody who has dreamed of being somebody,
Scanlon.
but is still dreaming.
Walker.
For every person who only wanted that one chance,
For the rest of you,
but never got it.
I'd like to thank you for trying out.
Your day has come.
Let's kick some butt.
Are you ready for a miracle?
You killed him, Icebox.
Look, you berserko Barbie doll.
You can talk the talk, you walk the walk. Somebody call 911.
Warner Brothers and Amblin Entertainment present
Where in the hell do you get off trying to put together another team? Guys like you and kids like that, I mean, they can't help it, they're no good.
Rick Moranis,
Who are you, Vince Lombardi all of a sudden? It's Pee Wee football.
Ed O'Neill,
Oh my God, Coach is a vampire!
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich? You'll never get anywhere treating your helmet like a lunchbox, son.
and a cast of small wonders
Timmy, I'm not sure, but I don't think that goes there.
in the story of a gridiron miracle.
League rules clearly state one town, one team.
Meet me at half court.
It's the 50-yard line, Dad!
Now, with a little professional help, they've got exactly 2 weeks to learn how to pass,
What a hunk.
Hi.
catch,
Son, if you're gonna cheat, win.
block,
Get the fear out of your eyes. Let's go. You got it, mate.
and kick butt.
Want intimidation? I'll show you intimidation.
Little giants,
Do you like football?
No?
You want to play football?
No?
Great, you can be on our team.
heroes come in all sizes.
I think of all the movies we've watched so far, I have the most comments that I want to say like all at once in no coherent order.
Go
it's
ahead.
just like, yeah.
Well, here's what I got. Misfits form their own opposing team into an elite Pee Wee football team coached by the elite team coach's brother.
Terribly worded. And I saw the same thing.
I was like, this is not a great tagline.
This one I found was slightly better, and not breader. 2 brothers, one a former football hero and the other a warm-hearted klutz, find themselves at odds when they coach opposing Pee Wee football teams. At least
That's
I understand
better.
the plot.
That's information.
This is the one I came up with.
Yeah.
And this is why I like this movie. When a cocky former athlete refuses to let his athletic niece play on his Pee Wee football team, she takes matters into her own hands to teach him a lesson. That's the
You should
gist
write
of the
that.
movie.
You should put that up on IMDb.
I'm going to. And that plot happens 20 minutes in the movie,
Yep.
and then you go straight into the movie.
Yep.
It's like everything you need. Here's what you need to know.
Yeah.
Buckle up. Here's the rest. And I think that's why, even though, as I'm sure we will get into, there are no shortage of problematic issues with this movie, I think enjoyed the most pieces of this movie of maybe anything we've watched. There are so many funny and fun moments.
Yeah.
But boy, is it littered with really awful counterparts.
It's a real you're holding hands with the devil sort of a situation. You're like, you're
rough.
fully enjoying it, and you're like,
I'm in love, but this is going to end poorly.
but at what cost?
Plots done poorly.
A whole town kisses the ass of a guy who used to be good at football, and surprise, he's an asshole because of it. Also, he coaches Pee Wee football for some reason.
For some reason, or maybe for the best reason.
What?
No one ever says what team he played for, what position he played. It's always football star.
Okay.
They don't even talk about if it's college, if it's NFL,
Well, he won the Heisman.
if it's high school. Okay. But we don't know for what team. We don't know for what position.
Okay. So are you saying he's not qualified to coach at any other level?
I'm saying maybe he's not that good.
Oh, to win a Heisman, though.
That's great. Tim Tebow won a Heisman. I think two, didn't he? I just think, like, Yeah, he was good in his moment.
Yeah.
But he's still clinging on to the past. He's talking about 4 seconds, 2 seconds, whatever. And there's a bunch of old guys that are like living it up.
The whole town is living in the past.
But also it's like he's the perfect character. Ed O'Neill is the perfect villain for this movie.
Yeah.
The chomping the gum.
Yeah, never not chomping gum.
He's always, even the kid actor that plays him, I'm like, well done, little
They
guy.
tied it together.
He is chewing well.
Yeah.
He is so caught up in his previous accomplishments.
Yeah.
He has a Chevy dealership. He decides to
as any former athlete should have a car dealership. I felt that was a very accurate.
Spot on.
Yes, accurate.
Drives
story.
a Corvette. Great. He coaches Pee Wee football. And this is his life. This means the world to him. Not his younger brother that wants to beat his older brother and show him he belongs.
No.
The older one that played professional football.
Yeah.
This means the world to him. That tells you all you need to know about his current state and where he's at.
He's not well.
No.
He's never living in the present.
Something's loose. There's a screw or 3 loose.
I went back to childhood, my childhood memories of this movie, and I remember loving this movie.
Same.
And this, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I feel like was very much anything with pizza, karate. It's like, well, that movie, I'm quoting something for that movie. If we're playing a pickup game of football, Fumblerooski,
the annexation of Puerto Rico.
Those are coming up. Those are coming up. So it had a stronghold on a very specific part of childhood that I feel like impacted a lot of people our age's lives.
It's also such a 90s movie.
Yes.
Short shorts, tall socks.
Yep.
You have some of the things they say, you're not coming to my birthday. The constant camcorder recording everything that happens, whether it's tryouts, practices, games, you name it. Doing plays in the living room, everything. I'm like, the camcorder, boom. Well, that is as 90s as it gets.
It's a through line to today, because now someone's always got a phone out recording things today. So,
But those were heavy. You had to lift weights to hold those puppies.
Yeah. Not typically the daughters. It was some uncle that always came that had it. So, where did we find this movie?
We didn't.
This is now two movies in a row.
You got it from the library?
I got it from my local library. Yes.
I had to rent it for $3.99 on Amazon Prime. And so that's what I did.
So don't say you never did anything for the friends and family with this podcast.
Yes,
you
exactly.
Paid it out of your pocket.
I'm committed.
Now, something I did for this podcast, this episode that I have not done previously.
You wore pants while watching it.
That was for you and not for anyone else to know.
Okay.
For the rating. So it's PG. And it's PG for kids' rude language and pranks. When I did one more click, which I didn't realize maybe this wasn't information on other movies on IMDb, there is more specific information for why this potentially is the rating.
Yes,
so I was
you can break it down.
So now I'm going to be doing this from now on. So what I found, violence. So the notes were tackling and football-related contact by children. Okay.
Yeah.
Heyman accidentally runs through a window and lands on a tree branch between his legs.
You definitely did that.
Okay. And a boy is accidentally kicked in the groin. I'll check out. Profanity. 4 uses of hell, 3 uses of butt, 2 uses of piss, and 1 use of damn. I just loved it was all one run-on sentence, and I loved reading it. It brought me so much joy. 2 uses of piss and 1 use of damn. Sex and nudity. Now, it said none, but then the note was, girls wear cheerleader outfits with short skirts and tops that occasionally expose midriff.
That's the same thing as nudity?
Again, it's listed as none, and then also that note. So maybe that's just if we're gonna pick nits, then maybe you could get there. But I'd say that you're making a stretch there.
Okay.
But the movie is from 1994.
Sure is.
The director is Dwayne Dunham, not Dwayne.
No,
Dwayne Dunham.
Dwayne.
Now, did you see what movies he directed?
Star Wars, right?
So he directed Star Wars: The Clone Wars TV series. He edited Twin Peaks, Star Wars Episode 5, Star Wars Episode 6, so Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and Blue Velvet, which is a David Lynch movie. Oh. So he's a heavy hitter editor. Movies he directed, Homeward Bound, which was his big splash.
Homeward Bound.
And don't get too excited, but Halloween Town.
Come on.
So this is now, how many movies? This is at least 2 movies with Halloween Town.
There are so many circles.
They all overlap. They all overlap. The writers of this movie, James Ferguson, Robert Shallcross, and Tommy Swerdlow, nothing too much to speak about. James and Robert just wrote Little Giants. Tommy Swerdlow wrote Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which I believe is the newest.
Is that the one that we saw?
I think so. The Grinch with Jim Carrey.
Oh.
Little Giants, Bushwhacked, and Cool Runnings. Huh. So he's been...
That's a pretty good resume.
And as an actor, he acted in Howard the Duck, Child's Play, also known as Chucky. Hamburger Hill, Spaceballs, and Real Genius. So Tommy Swerdlow is no slouch when it comes to writing or acting. So
we should trust his credentials.
Tommy, we'll go with Tommy on this one. Anyone who acted in Howard the Duck, I can trust.
Yeah, very true.
Runtime, 106 minutes. The monies. So did you see what the monies were?
No.
Not great.
Not shocked.
The budget was $20 million, which seems like a lot for what you watched.
Probably all the uniforms.
I guess I'm trying to think
Cowboys.
how much
for the rights of like the Cowboys uniforms. Who knows?
That could be. I thought the CGI on Jake's snot bubble, that was at least $10 million right there.
That went over my head as a kid. I thought that was real.
Yep. And then you watch it now with an HD TV or whatever. You're like, that ain't right.
Definitely CGI.
So the budget was $20 million. They grossed $19.3 million. So they did not make back their monies.
But I wonder with like VHS and DVD sales.
I'm sure it helped.
Because I don't know anyone our age that has not seen this movie.
And one of the notes I saw was it was packaged in a either a VHS or a DVD set where it came with 3 other Little Big League,
Green.
Yeah, so I'm sure it made some money on the other end, but in the box office, we did not break even.
Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes was not kind.
No.
36%.
I saw that as well.
IMDb 6.4 out of 10.
Yep.
A little fun fact. Do you remember what the IMDb rating for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was? The other Rick Moranis movie?
No.
A 6.4 out of 10. So he is I don't know that I agree with one of them being the same score, because I think Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is a better movie.
But this is what I would say. Because second movie we've watched with Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
I agree with you that I think Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is a better movie. But which one did you enjoy more?
Yeah. And I think this one's probably more memorable as a, what would you say, as like quote,
like tagline?
Yes,
yeah, like t-shirt fodder.
I think you're right. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is the better movie. This is the more like enjoyable, more quotable movie.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's accurate.
Now, something that disappointed me was there was no meta score for this movie. I'm guessing because it has to hit so many reviews.
Criteria
so many journalist reviews for it to get to that point. I did find some information from our good friend Ebert.
Did he watch this?
He watched it.
Really?
He did not like it. He gave it 1 out of 4 stars. And he said, "Look at Little Giants, written by James Ferguson, Robert Shellcross, Tommy Swerdlow, and Michael Goldberg. What do you mean? It's one of the stupidest movies you've seen. It got sold, didn't it? And it got made, didn't it? So that makes it a success, doesn't it? It's mind-boggling to reflect that this screenplay actually involved work by 4 writers. It's such a small achievement, their division of labor must have resembled splitting the atom."
Wow.
Little kids may like this movie if they've never seen one like it before. Slightly older kids with good memories will notice that this is not even the first movie this year where a character passes gas to knock out the other team. Even older viewers are likely to bitterly resent the fate that drew them into the theater.
I think that's a little harsh.
I'd say. Here we are, 2 adults watching, again, it's a probably different experience for him because these aren't movies from his youth. He's watching these as an adult for the first time being like, this movie doesn't make sense.
Garbage.
It sucks.
But also, if you have 4 writers on a kid's movie, how good can it be, probably?
I mean,
I think the more writers, generally, like, the worse the movie is. Sure.
The Washington Post said, if Little Giants were in a beauty pageant, it might win votes for Miss Congeniality, but it definitely wouldn't take the crown.
But did you see the awards it won?
Did it win an award?
No. No, it didn't.
I saw top 10 worst disasters. It won. Ranked.
I was looking everywhere,
and
I couldn't find a single award.
Yeah.
Negative or positive.
Yeah. The final bit of the Washington Post review says, Little Giants is about believing yourself. One day, the movie tells us you just might win. That may be so, but when Madden's bus pulled away, I wished I were on it.
Well, sure, because who doesn't want to be with a bunch of
Evan
football
Smith?
players?
I mean, come on, let's go.
That's just a silly statement.
But all things considered for, a 90s movie, you've got Ed O'Neill, Rick Moranis, Devon Sawa. You got some heat.
Some serious heat.
Yeah.
In their prime, son.
In their prime. And you got Joe Baez as Butz, if that's any information for you.
It's not. Was it Putz or Butz?
Butz.
Oh, I thought he was Putz.
He was Butz. I had the subtitles on, so I saw the Butz.
Smart move. I'm
always looking for the Butz. Yeah.
All right, let's take it from the top.
So to pick their teams, they play Laces and Spaces, and I thought that was a realization. I was like, I don't think I ever, as a kid, I even knew this, let alone play. Did you? Is this how you figured out your teams?
No.
I thought maybe bubblegum and
Yeah, bubblegum in a dish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, plus they don't pick him.
No.
So it's like, well, something is flawed with these rules.
There's some flaws happening, and it starts there. But just like you said before, we kind of talked about Kevin O'Shea. One of my first questions was, if he's such a big shot, why is he not coaching high school or the local college? Like
right.
this,
he's just giving back.
Something stinks.
And his kid isn't even on the team.
Yeah.
So
and he refuses
to
put his niece on the team. Like there's just too much. I have more questions for Kevin.
He is a flawed character,
sure,
but I think it works in the best way because you come in hating him.
That's true.
He's a jerk as a kid. He's a jerk as an adult.
Yeah.
He's a jerk when he wins. He's a jerk when he loses.
He's a jerk through and through.
At no point do you feel sorry for him. Rick Moranis even takes the high road a few times.
Sure.
It's just like, I think you're fine cheering for the quote unquote losers. Mm-hmm. And the kids that are good are all like there's no redeeming qualities really in any of them. And so it just makes you jump in all the more.
When Zoltek gets hit and he's got the peanut butter jelly sandwich in his helmet, they call out Icebox and they look at Icebox. She's cool. That's a cool nickname. But he says, you're treating your helmet like a lunchbox. I said, so being the Icebox is cool, but having a helmet like a lunchbox is not cool.
I think it's weird to store food in your helmet.
I mean, listen, if you're on the go, you don't have pockets in those, those
it's going to be
pads.
sweaty.
Yeah.
That's one of my first answerable or unanswerable questions. So he has a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and Cheetos in his helmet.
And there's something there's a hot take in here, by the way.
So he says...
First hot take of this episode.
All right, are they crunchy or puff? And he says puff, and Kevin O'Shea calls him a wimp. My question to you, crunchy or puff?
If I had to say, I guess I would say crunchy. But
I'm a crunchy guy through and through.
But I wouldn't pass on a puffed.
I wouldn't either. But Kristen is team puff all the way. And this is a point of contention in our house, is if we get Cheetos...
Did you go to the store?
She's like...
Who brought this into this
you
house?
You better be bringing in the puffs. I'm like, really?
My concern isn't a puff or a crispy, but you just get the jalapeno Cheetos. That's the one I'm going to enjoy.
That's a good call.
I mean,
or if they have the different shapes, like
sure.
when they had the Chester Cheeto one or whatever, the claws. Those I feel like are the top tier.
Yeah, that and a 3D Dorito. You get that going. Now you're bringing my 90s kid heart back in the game. And Icebox is schooling everyone. She's laying it down. She's letting it be known, I'm not fucking around, and I'm gonna make the team. But does she make the team?
She doesn't.
Her own uncle.
She's freaking robbed.
Leaves her high and dry.
Her aunt says she's the best one on the field.
I mean, the Karen and Kevin, their dichotomy, the contrast of those two. I want like a short, or I want a spin-off of those two, because they're
like a prequel, how they got together.
Just their whole chemistry. I'm like, she doesn't like what he's doing. He's not listening to her. Like, there's trouble. There's trouble afoot.
I think she got knocked up. She was swooning over him, probably in his college days.
Sure. Who wouldn't have at that time?
And yeah, valid.
Yeah.
And so then it was just like, we're in too deep. We have a family. I love my family.
Yep.
Because she seems like an absolute sweetheart.
Yeah.
He seems like the
opposite of a Karen.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it seems like trouble's afoot. Something's coming for that couple, and they have their bumps on the way.
And we will get to it, but there are several issues with their relationship too.
One of the first lines that jumped out to me is, "Hey Hanan, you ever catch anything? Caught a cold yesterday, Murph. Here, have some." Snot rocket at him. I was like,
beautiful.
If that would have been done to me as a child, that would have ruined. I mean, it would have ruined my life. I would have been either getting into a fight or running home crying. Like that, you don't come back from that. I'm sorry. Snot being blown all over you. That's effective.
There are so many good one-liners though in this movie.
I like it.
When they're talking to Kevin about when he's replaying his like famous play, I guess, where he scored, and they're talking about 4 seconds or 2 seconds. And the old guy goes, 4 seconds, the hell of time. You don't even know what year it is. And he goes, no.
That was probably the first time I actually burst out laughing. It was
that
so
guy
good.
is awesome. Then later, he says if Danny's boys don't win, he's going to sweep the shop out for a month.
We'll talk about that too, because the spread that they're giving is
plus 14.
Plus 40.
Oh yeah, sorry, plus 40.
I'm taking 39.5 points. I don't care who they're playing.
True.
And you would have won. You would have won on that.
Oh, easy.
So we're 10 minutes into the movie just about, and I've got my first problematic note.
Let's dive in.
I'm problematic.
You look like a boy and you play like a boy. Do you pee standing up? She's hot to trot. She's still got a squat. Yep. We have not even cracked the 30-minute mark, and we are having problems.
Yeah, that's rough.
And Becky rightfully kicks their asses. I think had Dad not shown up, had Danny not shown up, she would have choked them out. That they would have been KO'd.
Yeah, I think she would have stopped before they were dead. But
yes, but knocked out.
But yeah.
She says, "You're lucky my dad showed up. I would have choked."
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have choked you out. There'd have been 2 unconscious children on the ground.
But even Uncle Kevin says the icebox is a girl. Maybe you started treating her like one, she would start acting like one. What is that supposed to mean, Uncle Kevin?
Uncle Kevin.
How dare you?
How dare you is right.
This is a hot take or unanswerable question, but the nickname the Icebox, is that a cool nickname? And what does that mean? You're cold?
I was curious. I mean, it's like an ice in your veins kind of thing. I don't know. Because on the face of it, it does sound cool. But if you think about it past that, you're like, yeah, I don't understand what that means. Because the Icebox, I would think, is like, I'm guessing it's Walter Perry, the refrigerator. So it's like, okay, that's a cool name. He's a cool football player. Something similar, the Icebox.
But because he was built like a refrigerator, she is built like a girl.
But she's
tough as nails.
She wrecks.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They keep saying Icebox like it's cool.
Yep. But
I just don't know.
Here's the thing: if you are cool, you can make any nickname cool or not.
That's
be
true.
Cool. So by that reasoning, the name is cool.
Okay, then I'm back on it. Yep. I'm all in on Icebox again.
Becky the Icebox. But yeah, Kevin. What kind of asshole are you? What person looks in their niece's eyes and does not let them on the team? Is his thought truly just she's a girl, or like, is it this reasoning where he thinks, what's his quote on the dealership? You'll thank me tomorrow, or thank me tomorrow. Like his whole thing is basically like, I'm an asshole to you today, but like it's gonna benefit you. So it's like he's really
kind of
thinking,
like this hurts me more than it hurts you type thing.
It's just like, I'm giving you something difficult to work past, and because of that, you're welcome. It's like.
Or like, you should be thankful that you get to interact with me. Because she is one of the best ones out there.
Yep.
And then he says later, like, I love to have girls be a part of it. They can be cheerleaders. And she's like, oh, so girls can like...
That's right. They can be presidents. They can...
Right. But they can't play football. And he's like, yeah, that's right. That's a little chauvinistic. A little chauvinistic.
Hey, Kev. Get out of the 1950s, would you? And Danny's right. He says everyone should have a chance to play. It's Pee-wee football. What? You need to let the kids
And
play.
you tell me which team had more fun.
That's
okay?
True. That's true. And in the end, which team was better? Which team played like a team?
Yep.
Kevin and the missus, they're arguing. She can't because she's a girl. He admits he's gone too far, but his solution to that is put her in a cheerleading outfit.
Yeah. And lots of problems. Later, he decides to show how to tackle a cushion, aka a person, in his house.
On the second floor.
In
front of a window.
Honey, hold this. I'm going to tackle this thing as hard as I can.
At full speed.
What was your plan?
That's what I said. I was like, you knew there was a window coming at the very
least. And let's say the window's not there. You're going to blast your wife holding a cushion? Like, so when we're talking about there's issues, either he doesn't recognize that she's a human, or he doesn't care that she's there.
One or the other. It's
either
bad.
way, or he's just an idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that could be option C.
But
that's a major problem. And so she does like a sidestep. Boom, out the window, nuts on a tree. You kind of deserve it.
You did.
What are you doing running football plays in the house? You don't do that.
Especially
you don't throw balls
floor.
In the house.
No.
You don't tackle cushions in the house. Especially
there are very simple
floor.
Rules in the house, and those are
even
some of them.
I know that.
But something that just bugged me was that they're having this conversation, and he gets all sensitive when his wife starts calling him names. You're chauvinistic, and all of a sudden now his feelings are like...
I think because he doesn't know what that means.
That's fair. So then this all applies to your he's an idiot theory.
Yeah, I think his intelligence is insulted.
All right, I'm with you. So again, like every kids movie and seemingly every 90s kids movie, we're going to get serious. We're going to lay down something serious. And this is where Danny and Becky have a conversation where Danny informs her, or they at least discuss the memory of mom leaving, and that was because it was the best choice for her.
Yeah.
That's
rough.
That's not the typical trope of they passed away, which again is sad, but did you see the trivia facts mythology on that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, please go on.
So I put this under, is it racist problematic?
Okay.
Because Danny O'Shea was originally written as a widower, but when Rick Moranis was cast, it was changed that his wife left him out of respect for his real wife that passed away in 1991. And I wrote, is that better? It's better for your wife to leave you and your daughter than to die?
I think it's fully just out of respect to Rick, but I think the rewrite is not
But that's a rougher scenario. Like, if she passed away, you can't help that. So she chose to leave you two, and that's a way better plot point.
So what they did was they said, Rick, we're going to do you this favor, but for everyone else, buckle up, because she got out of town because this wasn't her cup of tea. She was not a fan.
She made a choice, and now we have to make ours.
Yeah.
And
all we know is that she didn't let Becky play football, and that she had better things to do that had nothing to do with the two of them. But he's a real lemons in a lemonade kind of guy. Like, he's giving her good advice. When she doesn't get picked, he said, this frees you up to get picked for something else. Like, he's trying.
He's very positive.
He's trying to put in the work to say, like, he's not his brother at the very least. He's like, listen, let's make the best out of the situation.
And I think in other 90s movies, they make the mistake of, like, single dad, doesn't know what they're doing.
Yes.
Like, well, I don't know how to do these things with girls.
The house isn't messy. He's not like how he is in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
No.
Where he has a wife and it's still, like, all...
He takes everything in stride, even to the point of her surprising him by going, oh, you're coaching the team. Yeah. Like, he's in an argument with his brother and looks out the window, and she's just like, sorry.
Yeah.
And so he puts it together and goes, all right, I guess I'm going to coach my daughter's team now.
I guess I'm going to, from nothing, put together a football team.
I don't know how to coach football. We don't have a team, but we're going to make it work.
He really rolls with the punches, better than I would. So good on you, Danny.
And I think that's one of my favorite things, too, is that when they're assembling the team and you see them like joining in and walking down the train tracks, and the kid in the cowboy hat, like, Ryan, do you know how to play football? No. Do you want to play? No. All right, welcome aboard. And he has his cowboy hat in every practice.
He commits. Even his dad dresses like a cowboy.
There's no explanation for it.
You don't need to.
They live in Ohio. They're not out west. But fine. Yeah. All right, be yourself. I mean, there's like so many hidden messages in here of like, be true to who you are. You don't have to win every time. Yeah. It's not all about winning.
Have fun.
Yeah. I kind of like it.
But to that previous point, he said, I think I was nearly going to file that under problematic, where Danny is approaching children that are by themselves and asking them if they want to join his football.
And like slapping them on the leg.
Like if you're the parent inside the store, like, who is that? What? Don't talk to him.
Because you get home and you're like, hey, Dad, I'm on a football team now, and we're going to go practice.
Some guy came up to me. I was riding the horse outside the store, and he came up to me and said I could join his football team, and I'm going to join his football team. Like,
so we're at his gas station now, playing in the dirt. Like, wait, slow down? What?
This is a 90s parents like, yeah, all right, go be home by dinner. Okay, yeah, sure. Something that'll never be concerning to me is seeing children swear. And now, damn isn't like a bad swear, but when the kid says, damn, Zolfart, I'm like, there's something about a kid swearing that's just like grating to me. It's like, like it's just, I don't like it.
I never heard the damn.
Yeah, because so Zolfart.
Yeah.
Zoltek says, here's a kiss from Murphy, Patterson, and Briggs too, and he farts. And then those two, they come in to the barn, which has somehow trapped the fart, even though it's open on all sides.
It's confusing. This is another 90s, like Little Rascals too, how there's like a sweet hideout.
They've always got one.
Electronic equipment and like beakers and test tubes, and the one nerdy kid is like running experiments.
Sure.
Where are we? This is crazy.
At the science barn.
And why aren't you there every moment? Like, you don't need a football team. This is a pretty sweet layer.
That's true. But Icebox comes through because they're giving wedgies. They're trying, and just Icebox. There's the three boys, but just Icebox comes and they hightail it out of there. Whoa, so they've got the numbers, but it's a smart move because she wipes the floor with them, even her go-kart. And I said, as a kid, is there any cooler form of transport than a go-kart? Like that, there's no better.
Heavyweights. I mean, it's
Little
like
Rascals.
If you can throw a go-kart in there.
Yeah, absolutely. If you get a little go-kart chase scene, I'm all in.
Done.
Yep. We get a line. We got a turd in the punch bowl, the mayor says.
And why is the mayor so concerned?
I don't know why the mayor cares. I don't know why he does the coin toss at the football game. I don't know why the mayor's involved at all. But he's
listen, I thought it was understood. There's only one Pee Wee football team in this town, and there are issues.
You know what? He should have been breathing down the police chief's neck. Like, you have one job as a mayor in the 90s kids movie. You have a chief of police.
Like, our funding is gonna just go through the shitter right now.
I got next. I got to breathe down. Like, you got other jobs.
Yeah, he's quite concerned about this Pee Wee football situation.
That's what I said. I was like, so Becky said this one day ago,
and
whom? The town is so small, it's already gotten to the mayor.
Right.
To which he is so concerned about, he has to find the most famous person in town.
And who did she tell? Because she's like trying to recruit the team, and there's people on the fence, but they clearly don't have a team.
No.
It's
I said
like
this
Becky
is,
and Co.
This town is I've heard of small towns before. I feel like we came from small towns. This is a small town. This is a very small town.
I was born in a small town.
All their past, he's willing to fight his brother. He's willing to really get in the dirt with his brother over coaching Pee Wee football. He's not great. He's a grump.
And guess what? You're going to get your comeuppance.
That's true.
Because you're going to get out-coached
you reap what you
by
sow.
your idiot brother who could
Right.
only beat you one time down Cherry Hill.
That's true. And I said, if you're so good, why do you even care? Let him play and lose. Like,
this is what I don't
fragile.
get.
That's masculine fragile.
That male ego.
Fragile masculinity. That's what it is. So
but I think that's why it's such a well-written part, too.
Sure.
If a 90s kids movie can have a well-written part,
yes.
is that like, yeah, this guy should not care.
No.
Like, I've achieved much larger things. But that's why I think, well, maybe he hasn't. Maybe he's still just so clinging on to
That's true.
whatever shards of winning that he can muster. I don't know.
Why are you so sad, Kevin? What's hurting you? What's going on in
He
here?
needs to have some sessions on the couch.
Have you had your 8 hugs today? I've heard you need 8 hugs a day.
Really?
How many hugs have you had today, Kevin?
Probably none.
So Danny comes. He's got his football team, and now he's got equipment. He says, "Guys, be careful with this stuff. They're antiques. Dump them on the floor.
Yeah.
Like, just slam them on the
And here's
floor."
a Darth Vader helmet, a bicycle helmet,
sure.
a hockey mask.
You make and do. Lemons and lemonade again. But Jake's mom, she's a lot. She's got some stuff going on.
Yeah, she's got some baggage.
Within the first 30 seconds of talking to Danny, she informs him of how the pregnancy went, that she was on bed rest for 9 months.
Yep.
She was scared of killing her child.
Correct.
I said, this is all with the football coach? I can't imagine what the grocery store clerk is going through when you're going through the checkout line. Like, you're giving people a lot.
And Jake spent the first 6 weeks of life in an incubator, but I think football would be great for him. You don't want to try another hobby?
Anything
Mom?
else?
Chess?
No.
Something maybe a little less active?
For a baby that was 1 pound, 11 ounces?
Yeah, not great.
1 pound, 11 ounces.
He's a tiny guy.
Hey. Oh, boy. The problems do not stop coming is what I wrote.
Let's just keep rolling through them.
I don't know what I've been told. Butts' butt is green with mold. Said no concerns there. You say thank you, I say please. Kevin sits down when he pees. Becky is doing the jumping jacks with them, and she's laughing.
I didn't even hear that.
Well, I will say I had subtitles on, so in all fairness. Kevin sits down when he pees. Becky is front and center, has no problem with this. She's laughing. She's in on the joke. Oh, what a pussy. He says, what a wuss.
She's hot to chop, but still has to squat. So she already knows.
So it hurts her when is it that kind of thing? It's like, you can't make fun of me. I got to make fun of me.
I think so.
And my dad has to make fun of me. All my friends have to make fun of me, sort of a thing.
But Butz too, when he pulls up to when they're doing the car wash.
Yep.
And he says, if I was a mama hen and these were my chicks, I'd lead them to water and let them drown. Like, wow.
That's rough. That's a rough metaphor.
You guys have to die? You can't just abandon them?
I would have just not been around anymore.
My Lord.
Yeah, that's a rough one. This movie, this experience watching this movie feels like what I thought Heavyweights was going to be, where the jokes are getting hammered. They're not necessarily like good jokes.
I think Heavyweights was better written.
Yes.
I think this had almost like throwaway jokes.
Yes. You didn't need them.
But then on the back end of it, you had something really funny or positive that redeemed it. And so like you're just
breaking even. You're just like,
yes, it's like status quo, because you like go super down where you're like, oh, that was rough. And then you get a really funny line, and there are no shortage of funny lines.
Yeah,
I have so many things written down.
This movie's
stuff
very
that
quotable.
I enjoyed.
Yeah,
one of the first lines of the movie, the one kid that misses the team in tryouts.
Yep.
He goes, there goes my chance at the pros. Now I'm gonna have to be a senator. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Solid.
Hilarious.
Yep.
Honestly, I don't think there's a single scene where I'm like, didn't enjoy it. Even tryouts, how like the peanut butter and jelly and Cheetos in the helmet, probably not needed. Like, what do you have to prove that he eats?
I feel, probably what made this movie longer is there's every scene probably has just like one extra joke that if you cut them all, you might be able to save 10 to 20 minutes or everything. But to your point, the scenes themselves all work. They all get you to where they make you hate Kevin more. They make you love Danny more.
Yeah. And there's continuing lines that come out throughout the movie too. Like Kevin will keep saying like, I knew you'd see it my way.
Yeah.
And you're just like, fuck this guy. And
You'll thank me tomorrow.
Danny at one point goes, I don't see it your way. I've never seen it your way. I hate your way. And we're like, here we go. All right.
Open it up.
Little bro stand up to big bro. Like, let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's get it on.
Yeah. One of the lines that I enjoyed was, why can't I run the ball?
Yes.
Because you're slow and no one likes you.
And then like 2 seconds later, he goes, "You can't come to my birthday."
Yeah.
I'm like, this is
huge insult as a child.
So good.
Yeah.
Oh, the worst.
You can't come to my birthday.
That's when you know
I didn't
you're
even
in a
want
fight.
to come to your birthday.
Right. That's when you know you're in a fight. You're not invited to my birthday. In 8.5 months.
Exactly.
Go screw yourself.
This is where we start to build the Junior icebox connection. We get the grocery store scene. We're getting practice where he slaps Becky on the butt.
Yep.
There's no other butt slaps.
Nope.
Becky gets her butt slapped.
But
Easy Junior.
The introduction too is so funny, and again, I think cleverly written, where both Danny and Icebox go to their house.
Yeah.
She sees
They're both,
Junior
like,
and runs away.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He sees his mom, runs away.
She's her father's child.
And then she rings the doorbell, and he wimps out. Like, it was just so funny.
Yep. And we get Johnny. Johnny without the dad. Dad's never around. He's always leaving at work.
Where is he?
I don't see a mom. So when
that was my
when
question.
Dad leaves, Johnny's just got the rule of the roost.
Who is staying with Johnny? That is exactly what I wrote down. Who is staying with Johnny when Dad leaves town?
Who's Johnny? I'm Johnny.
He's sitting on the bed. His dad's like, "All right, see ya, sport." I'm like,
you got it right. Like, you are 10 years old. How old?
I think ish.
Man of the house now. Take care. Wow. Milk's in the fridge. I love that they had their meeting where they're getting all hyped up at Danny's house. I kind of love, like, you'd have that
introduction type.
You could have it at a village hall. No, they're doing it in the bedroom. They're playing everyone's intro music. I don't know. For some reason, I loved that. And then as Junior is leaving, the dip sucked. I'm like, hey, you little asshole. Like, yeah.
What did you bring, Dick?
I'm sorry. Just because I gave you free food doesn't mean you get to trash me.
It was
just because you're the best kid on the team next to my daughter. Like, you know.
But he doesn't appear to have a father figure either.
That's true.
And his name is Junior.
Yeah.
Which I'm assuming he's named after his dad.
Junior. His dad's named Junior, so he's Junior.
Yeah. Like, where is Dad? What happened with that?
There's dads. There's moms.
That's another 90s thing where it's like no explanation needed.
In the 90s, if you had both parents, if it was a Home Alone situation, you're lucky. But then you're going to get left at home while our family was on vacation. So there's always a problem. The coaches scout the Little Giants practice.
Questionable.
I love the phone call to 911 where they say there's two men,
funny too.
two peeping toms. Yeah, excellent. And the cops come with their guns drawn, which was, I felt, a bit aggressive.
Not great form though. If you notice, their arms are like
they're all
close
locked
to their
in.
chest.
But still, coming out guns blazing. That's
And he was arrested. You said he was taken away in handcuffs. He's in the paper the next day. His wife's laughing at him.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't question him at all. They're just like, okay, let's go to jail.
So Karen and the girls know their dad's an asshole. They're repeatedly watching the tape of him going out the window, landing on his nuts.
Correct.
They're relishing in all the opportunities where he is making a fool of himself. But I guess if that was my dad too, I would be like, yeah, Dad, you're a prick.
And Karen is actively cheering against him at the game. And the first time she's like, goes, okay, sorry. And then afterwards she's like, I'm having fun with this.
Let's go Giants. Yeah, exactly. So it's not enough for them to leave him because there are a lot of single parent situations in this movie, but she's going to stick it out with them, but she's going to let him know, like, you're kind of being an asshole, right?
But she doesn't seem unhappy. Brings him a sandwich, though, at his desk with Chip. Like, okay, so you made him lunch. Also, they're having, like, a Thanksgiving feast. There's, like, 6 slices of white bread, and she pours no less than, like, 5 inches of chocolate syrup into her milk. I'm like, what are we eating here?
90s.
This is... Wow.
90s diet, yeah. And this is where we get a bit of a turn because Junior starts flirting with Becky's cousin, the cheerleader. Yeah. I just love when the two of them are talking and flirting. Again, I had the subtitles on, so these were moments where it helped me. The only thing that is said in that conversation or called out is that Junior says to her, bubbles and stuff. And I go, what? To what context is he answering? Well, what are you doing, Junior? What are you playing with? Bubbles and stuff.
It was the car wash, and he did throw bubbles on her. So
bubbles and stuff.
He might just be narrating, like, oh, here's bubbles and stuff.
I hear with your friends, like, drinking beers, like, just call
bubbles and stuff. Plus, if you look like Devin Sawa.
You can just say whatever you want.
It doesn't matter. The words are meaningless.
Bubbles and stuff.
No one's listening.
The whole town is invested in this Pee-wee football game. Every single person, between the old guys at the bar taking bets on the spread to the kids playing in the game, they are captivated by this game. They have the guy painting the lines on the football field. Like, it is... There is not a single person this is like Texas football to me, except it's Urbana, Ohio. So
there's a pastor giving a prayer.
Oh, sure.
There's a marching band.
Love the pastor scene, by the way.
There's an announcer for a meaningless Pee-wee football
Harry
game.
Shearer, excellent cameo.
Well done.
No better. You can't get a better announcer.
I counted 4 referees.
I didn't even.
And again,
that is about 3 too many for a Pee-wee football game.
It's a meaningless game. This is just to decide who is going to represent the town.
Yeah, it's not
for Pee Wee football.
Now this is like a pennant sort of situation. They're playing. This isn't even the game. This isn't even the thing.
Great call.
And this is where we get Spike.
Yeah.
And you get the race to get him. And now and Spike's dad says, "Are you Coach O'Shea?" And Danny, works the system. He catches the loophole. Yes, I'm glad you asked. I am Coach O'Shea. This is all
to his credit, he didn't lie.
He didn't tell a lie. He's a good Boy Scout. And he works the system, except it only works for one day. He only gets Spike for one day, basically, and then it's all figured out.
Not a ton of long-term.
No. He's just like, I think his thing is just, if I just get him now and somehow my brother
It'll be too late?
Somehow my brother doesn't find out. It's finders keepers sort of a thing. Like my brother's racing me to get him, and he'll have more than enough time to get there probably, even if I've gotten him, to at least meet the dad and explain to him the situation.
Yeah, so it seems like that train was...
It was very long. It was one of those trains you catch at night where it just never stops.
Because he never shows up at the house.
Never.
And then the dad of Spike says, every night before he goes to bed, I massage his hamstrings with evaporated milk.
I hate that. The visual, I hate all of it. I hated all of it.
Is that a thing?
I hope it's not, because I don't want it. I don't like this.
Evaporated milk?
I don't know. Huh. Have you ever rubbed your muscles with powder? Like, it doesn't sound great.
Nope.
Maybe
condensed milk, evaporated milk?
Yeah, none of it.
2%?
It sounds terrible.
No milk. Buttermilk?
I'm already concerned about the dad.
I'm anti-milk massages.
If there's anything about me to know.
Let it be known. Can we talk about Spike?
Please.
Have you seen him in other things?
Have I?
So there was a TV show called Beauty and the Geek that Ashton Kutcher produced.
Oh, I don't know that I ever watched that. That does sound familiar.
It was really good. It started out with nerdy guys, and then like these super hot girls would come in. And basically they found like, oh, these guys have substance to them. It's not just about looks. Mm-hmm. So it was actually a pretty solid show. Okay. They flipped it one season and they had a bunch of nerdy girls and good looking guys. Spike was one of the guys. And as soon as I saw this show, like he's so recognizable. Yeah. You're like,
that's
holy
Spike.
Shit, this is Spike. So
was he talking in third person?
I think he was speaking English and not in third person.
Oh, wow.
But I did a little research on him. Mm-hmm. So he was a bodybuilder for a while.
Perfect.
At 18, he was benching over 400 pounds.
That all perfectly checks out from Spike to that. Like, he's committed.
I don't think he was playing a character.
I think
that silver tooth might have even been real. Based on what I'm seeing,
that's incredible.
It all checks out.
If they ever recreate Little Giants, they better get Spike back as the dad of the new kid, and he's huge. Like it's sitting on there for a platter.
I mean, look at a picture of him now, and you're like, that's Spike.
Cool. But so in between Danny getting to Spike, Uncle Kevin sees Becky in the diner.
Yep.
And he goes and talks to her and shows he has a heart. You get the line as he's leaving. She asks, "Do you think I'm pretty?" He says, "No, I think you're beautiful."
Yeah.
He does have a heart somewhere under that, rough exterior.
There are moments where he's not a total dirtbag.
Yeah.
Even when Spike targets Junior, he's like,
true.
"Hey, you do that again, you're not playing for me." Like, oh, I thought you wanted to win. Not like that.
Not like that, I don't.
Which is surprising. You're like, wow. Because before this moment...
Seemed like you're pretty balls to the wall.
I thought you would win at any cost. You're even betting up your dealership for this game.
I mean...
is on the line.
It's this is a roller coaster.
Roller coaster.
Yep. But then you get the excellent Madden cameo, Emmitt Smith. You get the NFL players. And you get the line, which I may file under problematic. Okay. Or at least ironic. A football team is like a family, except you get to hit each other. And I said, the irony of that is there is so much domestic abuse with football players. Hey, guess what? If you're a football player, you get to do that too.
I mean, it didn't age well, but in the moment, it's like, what a great message.
What a wholesome. And you're not going to question John
Football
Madden.
is like a family.
It is. You just can't hit him.
No.
And then
or can you?
Fast forward, montage. Becky's staring at the couple making out in the canoe for a while, whom are not very far from her. Like to the point where, like, if you were that couple, wouldn't you be like, hey, could you mind?
What?
What are you doing?
I mean, they're going at it in this canoe or kayak or whatever vehicle it is in the water.
Water vehicle.
But then Junior says, you want to learn how to kiss?
Oh, this is great.
Hey, we're going to have to learn how to do it sooner or later. I mean, if you want to have kids and get a job and stuff, you can have kids without kissing. Yeah, but you can't get a job. Well, then I'll become a teacher.
This conversation is bonkers.
Like, wait a minute.
It's like, it's everyone stacking more and more nonsense on top of each other.
So you have to know how to kiss if you want to have kids and get a job and stuff. Uh-huh. He says you can have kids without kissing. She says, yeah, but you can't get a job?
Surely. You're going to have to kiss your boss.
And he goes, oh, fine. Well, then I'll just be a teacher because that's not a job.
That's the job where you don't have to kiss people.
We're ripping on teachers. We're ripping on parents.
Sexual harassment in the workplace. Like
this is such a loaded conversation.
Signals are getting crossed here.
Peeping Toms.
I'm
just like rocking my chair
from
so
all
uncomfortable.
Sides.
Like,
one of the writers wrote Hamburger Hill, and that was a World War II movie. So we're taking fire on all sides.
You know what? I might have to say that was my least favorite scene.
Yeah,
it was meaningless.
Yeah,
she's talking about wanting to kiss him.
I mean, that's what she wants to do. She wants to see if she can get him to kiss her. But
they never kiss later.
Right, that's true.
So throwaway. All right, take it back. Least favorite scene.
I don't like it.
But Becky comes home and she's now decided she's going to be a cheerleader. And Becky flies off the handle at Dad.
She really does.
He says, "There's my little fullback," and that's the line that triggers her.
Yep.
I feel like this conversation goes off the rails so quickly. And the line that she says, well, Mom used to call me your little princess, and she wouldn't let me play football. Like, how have we gone from 0 to 60 so quickly? Like, I think it's probably pretty fair for him to call her that or like reference it at all. So I guess she's had a bad day.
You know why, Nick?
Why?
This is my hot take.
Oh, please.
Becky got mad that her dad did exactly what she asked him to do, and that was form a Pee Wee football team so that she could play.
On a whim, with no prior knowledge to it happening.
Correct. You're not going to have any sort of insight.
No.
Or any indication
Dad,
that I want this to happen.
I'm going to need you to yes and here. Nope.
Okay.
Just keep it going.
Only then for her to quit. Completely sabotages his team. So the whole reason why he created this was for her, and then she leaves. Then, during the game, she tells Dad, call me Icebox. 5 seconds later, she walks by Junior, and he goes, go get him Icebox, call me Becky.
Again, signals.
So,
signals are
hot take, women can't be trusted, Nick. She doesn't know what she wants. They can't be trusted.
No.
What is happening?
But I also love that after she gets mad at him, she runs up the stairs and trips. And they left it. And they 100% left it. And I said, in all fairness, that was an accident. But it's so perfect because even when a kid is trying to be hurtful, they can't help but be an idiot. Like they will definitely stub their toe or smack their head.
And now I'm mad. And now you know. Yeah, it was very well done.
And this is where we get the Harry Shearer cameo. You can't beat him as an announcer. The pastor scene I love because you get Kevin yelling, "Quiet down for Christ's sake!" in front of the pastor.
It's funny.
And the pastor says, "What the hell?" Like it's all too perfect.
But with Harry Shearer, one of my problematic announcer.
Oh my god.
So Johnny gets kicked in the nuts on the opening kickoff, and he says,
"Somebody's holding a pound of Aunt Betty's nut butter."
Which
somebody's holding a pound of Aunt Betty's nut butter.
I don't understand that. That's definitely not a saying.
It's definitely not a saying.
And then my final problematic is Spike's dad when he's talking to Junior. Talking about taking Junior out.
Yeah.
Like, either you take Junior Floyd out of this game or you'll be donating a kidney to Aunt Ruth.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, why don't just...
Are those my options? Those are the only two options?
Hey, Dad, can I play this for a second? Does Aunt Ruth need a kidney? Can we get a GoFundMe going or something? Like, let's get Aunt Ruth her kidney, and also maybe I'll try to play well at this game. Like, why do those two things have to be mixed?
Rough. But in the game, there's a parent that should look very familiar to you.
And who is that?
So
Rick Moranis.
Rudy Zoltek's dad.
Yes. I didn't look up what he was from, but he 100% looked familiar.
You know who he is. He's in 2 movies.
Oh, he's Stillwell Angel.
He is Stillwell Angel. And he is also Francis from Pee-wee.
Oh my God.
It's the same guy.
That's a heavy hitter to have as just one of the dads.
Honestly, not great acting. In the crowd, he reacts a little bit late.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen more enthusiasm.
Sure.
But it doesn't matter.
Some notes for Stillwell Angel.
Because I recognize him, and he will always be Stillwell Angel.
Stillwell Angel.
Have another chocolate bar.
I would love... I have to imagine he's just going down the street in New York and like, hey, Stillwell Angel.
If I ever saw him.
Got him! So some of the things that in seeing this movie that reminded me that were my favorite parts.
I like it.
Hanan gluing his hands to himself.
Yes.
That's a classic.
And then it's still like just slapping up.
Yeah. No penalty, no flags thrown for like illegal substances or anything. So fine.
And no one sees the
black
giant jar of goo. Or
and also his jersey just covered.
Like, that's odd.
How about that? They say, I'm going to rip your head off. And Jake turtles his head. That just incredible. Like there's some
good.
Really great kid acting and execution in the movie.
I can't say anything with this arm.
The announcer knows all the kids' names. Again, Pee Wee football, but not number 7. Have you ever been to a younger sport at all? Does any announcer know anyone's names? No.
Because is there an announcer? No, there's not.
If there's even a high school
parents barely know the names.
That's true. Which one does Mike get out
on
there?
the Giants, their names are written on the back. It's not their real names, but
that's true.
Still,
love the Jake line. Don't be talking about my mama. Mm-hmm. Rip their filthy ears off, Jakester. Mom again.
Carter saw that and he goes, "What's wrong with her?" I'm like, there is
Carter. Valid point.
A lot wrong with her.
Take a seat, bud.
She's aggressive.
Yeah, I loved. Now I'm getting the sense that you had an issue with this. I loved the football turning into a roll of toilet paper transition.
I did not. I did not love that.
I thought it was great. I loved it. I remember it and I loved it.
Great. I'm happy for you.
Please explain.
There's a lot wrong. The ball should be spinning the other way. It is not. It's spinning counterclockwise.
See what I have to deal with
counterclockwise. And then turns into toilet paper. They're not lefty. It shouldn't be spinning that way.
All I'm going to say is...
It's horseshit, Nick.
It was enjoyable.
For whom?
For all of us football
toilet paper. No one
throws
toilet paper. I mean, it's a great spiral, but
what else are you gonna grab in the grocery store that can fit in your hand? You can chuck like
anything else.
Box of cereal,
a loaf of bread, an egg, anything.
Fine. The Becky Spike tackle. I feel like they do that tackle 9 more times, and it's a concussion for at least one of them 9 other times.
They're both airborne too.
So it could have been so bad.
I mean, he messed up. If he lowers his shoulder, he's probably in.
Yeah.
They both jump.
That's bad.
Sorry, she outsmarted you.
2 NFL players making that tackle like that, someone's getting injured.
That's
2
rough.
children?
Yeah.
Bad. But this is where they run the annexation of Puerto Rico.
Yep.
Fumblerooski.
Yep.
We're getting bangers along the way.
You get laterals.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like kind of foreshadowing
Junior
for
gets
the
an
future.
incredible bounce. I want to know how many times they ran that to like.
Thanks for coming back for the last play. I thought you were so injured you couldn't come in. But let's kick some butt, coach.
Yep.
Really? We would have loved to have you
Junior.
when we were down 21-0.
And the Little Giants pull off the upset.
They do.
The Cowboys, to their credit, show good sportsmanship. Spike leads the way.
He does.
They clap for them.
He starts a slow clap.
Yeah. Danny gets a little smoochy.
Sure does.
Karen leads the Giants chant. We're getting a very wholesome final ending. And yet still Kevin has to be Kevin, and he takes credit for the win.
Yeah.
He says, without me being tough on you, you wouldn't have got here. So you're welcome. Thanks a lot. And you get the water tower finish. End of movie. Great way to end it. Let me tell you, for all the previous movies we've done this season, I've been really looking for some meat on the bone for casting.
Oh.
And boy, did we get it.
Okay.
Boy, did we get it.
Okay.
Originally cast as the leads. So we have Ed O'Neill and Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
The originally cast leads, of all the facts about this movie, this is, bar none, hands down my favorite.
Okay.
Gary Busey and Randy Quaid. Could you imagine this movie with those 2 absolute maniacs?
Those are the craziest 2 looking people you could possibly select.
I mean, the wheels in my brain started turning so fast.
Who would be who even?
I don't know. They could be either. The O'Shea brothers are absolutely mental in that movie. There's an alternate universe where this movie exists, and I'm watching
That's insanity.
It's absolute insanity, and I love it. The original role of Kevin, so Ed O'Neill, given to Craig T. Nelson of Coach fame.
Too.
But he did not want
football.
Too much coaching of football. That really ground his gears on that one. So Ed O'Neill was approached, and
but I thought Ed O'Neill was perfect.
He's perfect. Craig, I do see, if your parents or you watched Coach, I can see the lineage, but like no, I don't.
But here's the difference for me. I think Craig T. Nelson is more like a stoic figure.
Yeah.
I think Ed O'Neill can come over the top a bit more and be more of the dick.
I think Craig being a dick might come off too like, ooh, that's scary. Like if
terrifying.
Yeah, the dad who never talks, and when he does, you're like,
yeah, quiet.
Danny, original casting. Bob Saget was considered for the role as Danny. But
which is ironically plays Danny Tanner later then.
Incredible.
Loves the Dannys.
Trivia and facts.
This was inspired by an early 1990s McDonald's ad. Did you see that?
I did.
Okay. About Pee Wee football that ran during the Super Bowl. So that's pretty good right there.
Yeah.
The day after it aired, Steven Spielberg liked it so much that he called up the ad's creator, James Ferguson, and hired him to write the script.
Evidently, Steven Spielberg's quote was, "I want that commercial made into a movie. I want my Home Alone." Home Alone, Little Giants is not. I want my Home Alone.
Is that really the quote? I want my Home Alone.
It is the quote listed. Again, I don't know how we can verify this quote, but Little Giants is not your Home Alone, Steven Spielberg. No. Especially Steven Spielberg. You could pick probably any one of your movies and say, that's closer. E.T., something.
Yeah, that's your Home Alone.
Not Little Giants, a movie that you didn't
Indiana
direct.
Jones, all right? That's your
Fine. Fine. You don't get Home Alone, but you get Indiana Jones. Devon Sawa was 15 during filming and much taller than his castmates.
In a few scenes, you can totally tell. And also, I love in any of these sports movies where you have certain locker room scenes or huddles where you're like, who the hell is that kid? Yeah. Like, he's not in practice. He wasn't scouted.
Oh,
There's like 3 or 4 random kids just sitting there, and you're just like,
lineup. Yep.
Does he even have a name? No. Uncredited. Yeah. Just I was in a movie. I stood at a locker room.
Unnamed kid 3. There I am.
Right.
See the back of my head.
Did you see Karen O'Shea?
No.
Mary Ellen Trainor. Mm-hmm. She was married to director Robert Zemeckis for 20 years.
Wow.
They got divorced in 2000.
Okay.
But they had
after Little Giants.
Yes, obviously. But 20 years together, they had a kid, and Robert Zemeckis. So there's a lot of directors weaving in and out of this movie.
Again, signals are being crossed. Oh, I love this. I love this fun fact. So Amblin Entertainment president Steven Spielberg wanted Chris Columbus to direct this film, as they'd previously collaborated on Gremlins and The Goonies. Seems like a good fit.
Mm-hmm.
Columbus was busy writing the screenplay for 9 months, which he also directed and couldn't commit. He was also slightly upset with Spielberg because 5 years earlier, he was asked to write the screenplay for his film Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Never heard of it.
No. Which Spielberg and series storywriter George Lucas rejected because they thought Columbus's script was racially insensitive. So Spielberg and Columbus have not collaborated on another film since.
Ooh.
So when that story starts, you go, oh, that wasn't nice, you Steven Spielberg. But then you see the reasoning and you go, oh, well, maybe. So now imagine an Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade that is
slightly more
racist. Just a thought, just a practice, a mental, just a test for you.
That's rough.
More talking about connecting dots, crossing streams. Priscilla, the daughter, she's praying. She says, "Thank you, God, for Nickelodeon."
I saw that.
Do you know this fun fact?
Yeah.
Her future husband starred in a Nickelodeon show.
Good for him.
Incredible.
And good for them.
And this was Icebox Shauna Waldron's film debut.
I remember growing up being like, wow.
Yeah.
What a woman.
She can be a cheerleader. She can be a fullback.
She's tough. She's cute.
She's got it all.
Ugh.
I'm sitting here waiting because I know you're gonna say it.
Okay.
And it's
just
it's like when you know something bad's coming, so like just rip the Band-Aid.
And so I'm gonna ask you to brace yourself. Dead or alive? Mary Ellen Trainor, Karen O'Shea.
Alive.
She died in 2015 from pancreatic cancer. I know.
Sometimes I don't want you to tell me that.
I'm sorry.
It's already bad enough they're dying or dead.
All right.
John
Paul Stewart, who played Johnny.
Alive.
Yeah. So he died on New Year's Day in 2018.
I just said they're all going to be dead.
He shot himself and committed suicide.
No, I hate this. Stop this. I hate this. I hate all this.
I told you.
This is getting so much worse.
Yeah.
Oh no! If anyone else dies, I don't want to know the reason. If it's worse, oh my god, this is.
Then pancreatic cancer and suicide.
I don't want to play this game. You're not invited to my birthday party.
So, Todd Bosley, Jake Berman.
Someone has to be alive. He's alive.
Yeah, he's alive. And then finally, Brian Haley, Spike's dad, Mike Hammersmith.
I mean, I don't like him, so I kind of hope he's dead.
He's alive. Nick. See,
there is no justice in the world. I wanted Karen to be alive, and she's not. I wanted Johnny to be alive, but Spike's dad has to be.
When both teams run through the banner.
Yes.
The Cowboys run through the banner.
Mm-hmm.
They immediately turn around and come where they came from and sit on the bench. I have never seen a team streak through a banner and then just turn on a dime and come back where they came from. It is hilarious. I watched it twice.
Didn't even notice.
They barely make it through the banner before they just abruptly turn around.
Incredible.
It's hilarious.
And then followed up with the Giants not even being able to break the banner.
They couldn't get through.
So they both have their fault.
Yeah.
Sequels, prequels, spinoffs, and such.
There were plans to do a sequel, and they never materialized. But in this world of...
Would it just be called Giants? Larger Giants?
You could 100% convince me that within the next 10 years, Disney Plus is going to put out...
Spike's available.
Spike's of it. They're gonna make some. They're gonna recreate this.
I mean, would you watch it?
If Rick Moranis comes out, does Honey I Shrunk the Kids? Any Rick Moranis IP is the ears are they're perking up.
All you really need are Devon Sawa. You need the Icebox and Spike.
That's it.
We got a movie.
You could get
I don't care the plot.
You could get cameos if you wanted of other people. You could get Harry Shearer as a commentator.
If you can do a modern day Mighty Ducks and just like throw together a garbage plot.
Disney has their list of remakes. They're going down. Well, this isn't a Disney property, I guess. So maybe that's the issue. So maybe that's where it comes into play. Is it appropriately rated or reviewed? I said it's not as bad as 36%.
Correct.
I'd say it's more, like we discussed before, I'd say it's more enjoyable than it is a good movie because it has its problems. It has plenty of problem. But if you want to talk about movies from the 90s that are quotable, that were like baked into the fabric of being a kid in the 90s, this is in the conversation. This is one of them.
I think, again, because it has so many memorable moments and quotable, it's almost like an Austin Powers or like some of these other comedies where you're like, is it a good movie?
No, but it just...
But is everyone you know quoting it and knows the annexation of Puerto Rico?
That's true.
Yes. So in that way, it's a good movie as far as like being well written or being
it didn't have
well
to be
acted. No, but is it entertaining? Yeah. Would I consider this like a good children's movie? Yes.
So you recommend
I would.
it?
I would.
Okay. Maybe next time a few less fat jokes
and some crunchy Cheetos.
And some crunchy Cheetos if you're not a wimp.
Thank you for listening. Please follow, rate, review, like, and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you listen to podcasts. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and tune in next week when we review another cinematic masterpiece from our childhood. Until then, when I'm done with you, you'll be farting out of your mouth and talking out of your butt.